Hello friends and welcome into the Cowboys Report presented by the Guild. I'm Tom Downey. Follow me on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney. We'll start things off now with the latest on that whole David Irving ordeal from earlier this week. His ex accused him of beating her, and then she quickly recanted the story, saying she was only upset. Irving said she was angry with him for dumping her because she was cheating on David Irving. A long ordeal there, but in the end, it looks like Irving is in the clear, and it's worth mentioning as well, Irving was accused by domestic violence by the same female back in college, and then those charges were later dropped as well. The two have a young child together. There will be no charges against David Irving, so that's a good sign on that end. But this is maybe partially why the Cowboys have shown some caution around David Irving. Why would you go back and continue to date someone who would previously accuse you of domestic violence? Not some great decision-making here from David Irving, but at least appears as of right now, he is in the clear, and this is now in the back burner and will no longer be an issue for Irving going forward. On to some more rumors. Are there limited first-round grades for Dallas in the first round? Well, I'm going to give this one 4 stars. Stephen Jones came out and said it, that the Cowboys only have 17 first-round grades on prospects this year. And although that seems like a very limited amount because there are 32 first-round picks, that's not totally unusual. Typically, teams end up in the high to mid-teens in terms of actual first-round grades. That's why you see teams kind of trade down in the mid to late part of the first round. It was a similar deal when the Cowboys took Travis Frederick. There were no first-round prospects on the board for them, so they moved down and then took Frederick at that late part of the first round. It does bring up a concern, though. Means the Cowboys might not land a quote-unquote first-round player for them at number 19 overall. Maybe they should have lost to the Eagles and had a higher draft pick in Week 17. Anyway, moving on. Number 3. Does Jerry Jones want Goodell to have a positive draft reception, i.e. no booing? Fake news on this one. Now, Jones said yes, he wants Goodell to be received warmly. But come on, Jerry. I know that's what you have to say because you don't want to continue to have the feud with Goodell. But I think Jones is going to hear the boos for Goodell. And he's going to throw up a nice little smirk and enjoy himself because deep down, I think he'll like it when Goodell gets booed at the NFL draft. Brings us to our first reaction poll. Will the fans boo Goodell during the NFL draft? Give me a like for yes, a heart for of course, a laughy face for no doubt, and a wow face for duh because, well, look, take the hint there. Goodell's going to get booed at the NFL draft. If it's your first time watching the show, you'll see the stars. Here's what they mean. 0 stars, the fight Odell Beckham won against the net. 1 star is a small shred of truth. 2 stars means the people are talking firmly in that rumor category. 3 stars means it's pretty likely. 4 stars, it's Zeke Eaton. It's a fact. Let's keep it rolling now with number 4 of our 12 rumors on tap today. Are the Cowboys better without Dez? Just a 1 star on this one. That's what Jerry Jones said. Comes with a bit of a caveat here, and that's why it's only the 1 star. Jones did say the Cowboys are better off without Dez because it provides clarity, which doesn't really make a ton of sense. Although on one hand, I guess it's nice to know what the future is with Dez Bryant. But on the field, look, the Cowboys are worse without Dez Bryant. So yes, I like knowing what the future is for Dez Bryant, but they're a worse football team right now. All right, number 5. Can the Cowboys not replace Dez Bryant with a pick? And guess what? This also comes from Jerry Jones, and it's 3 stars because it does make some sense in terms of the 2018 production. It's highly unlikely the Cowboys are going to get a receiver that can properly replace Dez Bryant. Jones says, well, we know we won't get a pure X wide receiver to replace Dez Bryant. Now, in the long run, yes, they can replace Dez Bryant. That's why it's not 4 stars. It's only the 3 stars. And maybe something crazy happens where the rookie receiver has a breakout year. But the Cowboys know whatever receiver they get in the draft, be it round 1, round 2, round 3, whatever, is not going to be of Dez's caliber right away. But you know what? Maybe that's the case down the road. So I wonder from you guys, what receiver do you want the Cowboys to draft? Dallas is going to take one early on, maybe not round 1, maybe it's round 2, round 3, but they will take a receiver early in the NFL draft. So let me know who you guys want. Is it DJ Chark, Calvin Ridley, DJ Moore? Is it a James Washington, a Christian Kirk? Let me know in the comments section. And then one final Dez item for you. Is Dez not going to sign till after the NFL draft? 4 stars on this one, and it just makes a lot of sense, you know? Like, why sign right now? Dez can wait to the draft, get a better mindset, a better feel of, okay, who is still in the market for a wide receiver. Now, he's claimed money has not been a factor for him, and it won't be. We'll see that actually ends up being the case. One note, the Ravens did make Bryant an offer. He wanted to wait and see what the market looked like after the NFL draft. Ravens said, okay, they went on, they got Willie Snead instead. Next up, what is the latest on the potential trade for Earl Thomas for the Cowboys? We'll break that down, but first, a word from our sponsor, The Guild. Now, we're going to keep this still in the 2-star category, firmly a rumor. Mike Fisher thinks the Cowboys are kind of laying the groundwork for making another offer during the NFL draft, and it would require Seattle to come pretty steeply down from their original demands of at least the first-round pick. Doesn't mean Seattle's going to accept the offer. I still don't know if they would really take number 50 overall for Earl Thomas. I don't have great expectations around that. But one more note from NFL.com, the Cowboys could try to land Thomas in free agency, so maybe there's still hope down the road, but I'm not feeling overly optimistic about Earl Thomas coming to the Cowboys in a trade this year, as great as it would be. All right, next up, is Ezekiel Elliott not going to get a second contract from the Dallas Cowboys? 2 stars on this one. That's what Mike Fisher thinks the Cowboys are going to do, and on one hand, it makes perfect sense. You want to rotate halfbacks. You don't want to pay 10 to 12 million for a running back because the position is so replaceable. And the Cowboys didn't give DeMarco Murray, for example, a second deal. Elliott is under contract till 2021 when he'll only be 25. At the same time, my mindset is, and we'll get some comments here as well about how you would feel if the Cowboys let Zeke go. Imagine spending a second or the number 4 overall pick on a halfback who you're not going to give a second contract to, and that's your plan. What a terrible, terrible decision that would be from the Cowboys based on draft capital. I hope this does not come true, because if you spend the number 4 overall pick on Zeke and you only get 1 year's worth of play out of it, or 1 contract worth of play out of him, I mean, what are you doing as a front office? Doesn't make sense to me. Speaking of not making sense to me, next up on our rumor list is another halfback here. What about Nyheim Hines to the Cowboys in round 2? Just a 1-star on this. There was a report from John Ledgerd that the Cowboys had interest in Hines at number 50 overall. The Cowboys do like Hines, but I think it's more of a round 4 option for the Cowboys than number 50. If the Cowboys spend a second-round pick on Hines, fire everybody. Everyone involved in that system, because that is the worst possible move the Cowboys could do. Now, maybe this is just Hines' group trying to get some more hype around him. I would be stunned if Dallas took him in round 2, and I think you and I would agree we'd be a very, very angry group of Cowboys fans if that was the pick. 3 left here, and again, we'll stick with some draft themes here. Is Dallas targeting 3 players at number 19 overall? 2 stars on this one. Tony Pauline has 3 names he thinks the Cowboys are looking at. Vita Vea, Leighton Vander Esch, who we'll discuss in a minute, and DJ Moore. Now, I love seeing Vita Vea on there. That's my boy. I'm not surprised to see Vander Esch. We'll talk more about him again in a second. DJ Moore makes sense, but no Calvin Ridley. That's the surprising thing to me, because of the massive interest the Cowboys have showed in Alabama players, Ridley and Evans. If Ridley's on the board, I could see him being the pick. So that's why it's only 2 stars. I think Ridley is firmly in the option at number 19 for the Cowboys. We mentioned Leighton Vander Esch. He's next up here. Is Dallas in love with Vander Esch? Well, this one is 3 stars, pretty much almost 4 stars as well. Jane Slater says that the Cowboys brass views Leighton Vander Esch as Brian Urlacher 2.0. I can already see the YouTube comments coming in. I get it. From an athletic standpoint, it kind of makes sense. He's big, he's strong, and he's really fast. The athletic profile is not often seen from Vander Esch's athletic ability. Of course, on the field, a slightly different mindset there. He's not quite Urlacher on the field. But if Vander Esch is on the board, I do think he is the pick for the Cowboys in round 1. However, not sure he's going to be there. So let's say Vander Esch is picked by the Cowboys, folks. Let me know how you would feel about that. Give me a heart for an A, a like for a B, a laughy face for a C, and a wow face for a D on today's Cowboys Report, brought to you by The Guild. Promo code ChatSports for 15% off your stay when you visit stayguild.com. One final rumor then, kind of playing off number 11. Could the Cowboys pass on a wide receiver in round 1? 2 stars, but it's very much in that possibility here. I would not be surprised. If Vander Esch is on the board, I think he's the pick. I think the Cowboys wait on a receiver, kind of like they did last year. They took Taco Charlton and then waited in a very good group of cornerbacks. I don't think there are a lot of number 1 guys. I think Calvin Ridley, maybe DJ Moore is the closest thing to a number 1 guy. So if Vander Esch is gone, that's where I see the Cowboys going receiver. But if he's on the board, I think the pick is going to be Leighton Vander Esch. So I wonder from you guys, Who do you think the Cowboys will take in round 1 of the NFL draft? Let me know in the comments section. I'll respond as well. A couple different options, but again, I'm thinking Ridley, Rashaan Evans, DJ Moore, Leighton Vander Esch. Those are your 4 most likely options in the NFL draft.